Good. You gotta give me control. Just click anywhere on it. Let's see. All right. Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our virtual Grab Your Lunch and Learn. We have Famous Dave's catered, so Mindy Thompson and I are going to be chowing down a delicious burger during this time. But we appreciate everybody joining us as we talk about how to prepare yourself and help your business grow during these times of uncertainty and obviously during these historic times. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Mike Weinstein, former vice president here at West USA. I'm one of the team leads for the Recon Group, one of our larger teams here at West USA. And we're going to talk about some of the things that we are doing to prepare our team here. And with that, I have Mindy Thompson here. I'll let her share a little bit about who she is. But I did get this picture of Mindy. It's just so if you're curious to know a little bit more about Mindy.
That's a great picture. That's my baby. That is my dog, Murphy. He's the love of my life. Sorry, husband and kids.
That's one big dog, but who are you, Mindy?
Who am I besides the mom of that beautiful boy? I am the director of career services for West USA Realty. And in addition to that, I am also a sales coach for the Mike Ferry organization, which is a worldwide real estate sales coaching company.
All right. So with that, so what we're going to do today is we're going to take you through 10 tips that Mindy and I have worked through that are going to help you thrive during these times. So the first one, Mindy, obviously we need to talk about is having the right mindset, because mindset is absolutely everything. And I think that we are in times right now. I think agents have got a choice. They can either just kind of hide back, stay inactive, and do nothing to prepare themselves, because we know that this is going to blow over.
Right.
And when this blows over, there will be opportunities, there'll be a business. And I think this is, I mean, you're either going to take advantage of these times or not take advantage of these times. And I know using the word advantage seems a little bit harsh. There's a difference between exploitation.
Right.
That's one thing. If I'm knocking on the door right now, anticipating people not making their mortgage payments and have a lease purchase or a land contract in hand and try to get them to sign the dotted line, as opposed to working our clients through these times and preparing ourselves for success.
I agree 100%, Mike. And there are a lot of things that we can be doing. And if we come at it from the point of view of helping, right? What can I do to help right now? There are people who need help. What can we do? And having our mindset.
This burger is amazing.
Having our heads in the right spot is going to be paramount as we start to try to find ways to help those around us. So I wrote down, and I hope anyone listening to this will write down, what can you start doing today to make sure that your head is in the right spot? And I have a couple of thoughts if you're coming up high and dry. The first thing is, don't start your day off by watching the news. I know a lot of people will go, I've heard things like, well, knowledge is power, and, you want to have information, and you do. You really do. But do you need to be glued to the news and to the TV 24/7? No, you don't. So a couple of thoughts I wrote down. Get outside every day, get some fresh air. I wrote, what are you reading right now? What are you listening to? If you're here, great, perfect thing for you to be in the right frame of mind. But if you want to be a resource to those around you, you first need to make sure that you're putting good stuff into your head.
Okay. And the other thing is, at the end of the day, we are still real estate professionals, and we need to act like real estate professionals. We have, and I know, again, some people, might have a problem with us staying active and looking for opportunities. But my feeling and my mindset is, I have a responsibility not only to my family to put food on the table, still pay the bills, but I have a responsibility to every single person in my sphere of influence to stay active as a real estate professional and to stay in contact with them to ensure that my business isn't shut down. Yes, or do I have a little bit, do I have limited time now because I'm home with my kids? Absolutely. And we're going to talk about time management. We're going to talk about calendar blocking and things like that a little bit later on. But you are still a real estate professional, and every minute, and I think you once told me this, Mindy, every minute that you're not working on your business, you have a close sign around your neck. And the best thing that we can do as real estate professionals, as realtors, is to ensure that we are open for business. So number two is everybody, we need to be the source of real estate information. There's a lot in the news. There's a lot of information about the coronavirus. We are not, unless you've got a PhD or some sort of degree, don't be the source of information on what's going on with vaccines and cures and so forth. But our area of expertise, our lane is real estate. And so we have a responsibility to be the source of real estate information. Everybody's sitting at home. Everybody's glued to social media. People are actually taking calls. People are actually, checking emails. But what I am finding, and this is a great opportunity for us as real estate agents, is there's not a tremendous amount of information being disseminated about real estate, how the coronavirus is impacting the real estate market.
It's really not. And in a time like we're in right now, I don't know about you, Mike, but it seems like everyone around me is speculating, this or that about the virus itself, speculating what's going on in the stock market or the real estate market. Right now, more than ever, we need to be positioning ourselves to be a resource. And so I wrote down, what do you need to do today? What do you need to do today to be a better resource and a better source of facts to the people who you know and who trust you for real estate information? So do you know your market stats? Are you listening to them every week? We're in a marketplace right now where you need to be paying attention to them by the week. And are you doing that? What else can you be doing to have more concrete facts for the people you talk to? That's what they're looking for right now. They want and they need facts. They need the truth.
And the other thing, you need to be the source of good news.
Right.
There's a lot of good news. There's a lot of good stories out there.
I'm going to talk about that in a bit.
Okay, and be positive. Be the source of positivity and so forth for your clients. Again, we have a responsibility. You are a real estate professional, so people are looking for leadership.
They are.
They're looking for guidance. They're looking for information. They are worried about what's going on with the value of their home. They're worried about their summer plans, the people that were planning on selling and buying a home and moving their kids. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of worry over there. And control the things that we can control. I can't control people's anxiety over whether they're going to contract the coronavirus, whether they're going to lose a loved one, whether their employment's going to be impacted. I can't control those things, but what I can do is I can control the source of information when it comes down to my area of expertise, and that is in real estate. And we had a question, and you guys can always feel free to email us questions or through the system. What would you say is, well, first of all, hi, Gail, thank you. But what would you say is the best source to stay on top of market info, looking for concise info I can share? Well, I'd say for starters, every Monday, the West USA Realty has a Monday morning webinar where we provide market stats. And if you're not part of West USA, you're always more than welcome to join us anyways. You just go to westusawebinar.com and you can register for that. I know I would pay attention to anything that's put out by the Cromford Report. I know Tina Tamboro is doing a lot. There's a lot of webinars and a lot of information that she is sending out. Anything that I'm missing?
No, I don't. I would pay attention to Michael Orr's reports. It's ORR. I'd pay attention to his reports, and also our very own at West USA Realty, Michael DeVille. He's a wealth expert, and he's watching the stock market and forecasting for us right now. In fact, he's going to have a webinar next week. So if you want really, really good information as it pertains to real estate and the market, you'll join us there.
Okay, number three. So in marketing and working with clients, you always need to put yourself in people's shoes. People are looking for hope. I had an interesting conversation. For those of you that don't know me, I've been a longtime radio talk show host at 92.3 KTAR. And I was in the office last week with the program director of the radio station, and we were just talking about the long-term impacts of the coronavirus as it relates to entertainment goes. And they're predicting a major shift in the type of media that we consume, in the type of entertainment that we consume, the type of bars and restaurants that we go to, the type of movies that people are going to be interested in. He made a joke that we're going to see a huge influx of Adam Sandler type movies because people are going to want to smile. People are going to want to laugh. Those dark, jazzy bars that are really gloomy, they're predicting that they're going to really struggle because people are going to come out of this and because they're looking for hope. So when we talk about being that source of information, you want to be a beacon of hope for people. There will be opportunities out there. One of the things that we are training and we're teaching our team at the Recon Group, Brian Gertis and I, is we're predicting when this thing does blow over, a small window of incredible opportunities for buyers. I think we're going to see a flood of listings going on the market. There's going to be a lot of buyers who were going to be buyers but aren't going to be in a position to buy just due to employment problems and so forth. So I'm predicting a small window of a buyer's market. Do I know that for sure? No. Do I have a crystal ball? No, I don't. So one of my messages for my buyers is giving them that hope that, listen, you're going to have a great opportunity. I have some buyers that, 3-4 weeks ago, they couldn't get into a house because every time we took a look at a house and we put an offer, we were one of 8 offers on the table. And I had some buyers that were needing seller concessions and sellers weren't conceding anything. And so I think for buyers, I think there is some hope, there is some opportunity for them. And I think it's our responsibility to study those opportunities and to begin having conversations with our client base, with our sphere of influence, because for some of my buyers now, I've given them hope. They're now going to, as long as their employment holds, they're now going to be able to get into maybe a bigger home for less money. They're going to be able to get that help from sellers that they were requiring. But there are going to be opportunities out there, Mindy.
I absolutely agree. And I think right now, more than ever, people are looking for hope and opportunity in lots of different ways. So whether you have a seller or someone who's been considering selling, I mean, inventory is still low. So, the serious buyers and the serious sellers out there, they're still going to be out there looking for opportunities. On another note, if I turn from that direction a little bit, I just want to caution or maybe give everyone a heads up that you are, whether you know it or not, or whether you like it or not, you are modeling behavior to the people around you who use you as a real estate resource, whether it's your past clients, someone in your database, or your family and friends. And so I want you to model what you're looking at right now, hope and opportunity. Okay, because what do we know? We know misery loves company. Okay, so if you start to talk to someone in your let's say one of your past clients, and they start going, oh my gosh, the sky's falling, this or that, I'm not saying don't empathize with them, but try to turn it around to leave them on a positive note, because just like Mike said a minute ago, and I did want to touch on it, there is so much good happening in the world right now. People are doing good things and they're helping each other and they're putting themselves in danger. My husband's a fireman. He's going to work every day still. They don't have a choice, these doctors and, people doing kind things for each other. Share those stories, instead of sharing the news article that some BS, pass those things around, because people are grasping onto those things right now, and rightfully so.
Yeah, and the other thing, as far as being a source of information and of opportunity and hope, we all, if you don't know anyone yet, it's soon to come. But I think we've all been impacted by people that are having employment challenges, having setbacks at work, whether they're on furloughs, whether their companies closed down. But there are companies that are hiring right now. There are grocery stores that are hiring right now. Amazon's hiring right now. One of the things that you can do is get some information on the hiring process for those. And so when you are talking with people and they're having employment challenges, again, be that source of information, give them the opportunities and give them some hope. I think a lot of agents are finding there's a lot of agents, and including a lot of agents on our team, Mindy, right now that are really busy.
Yes.
And they're still showing homes, and we're still taking a listing. So going back to hope and opportunity, if you have someone that has been looking for a home, now don't high pressure sell anyone. I have clients right now that want to wait for everything to blow over. The last thing that I can do, the last thing that I should do is pressure them. But I've had conversations with each one of them, letting them know that we are still having listings on the market right now. And again, it could be a good time to jump into a home.
Exactly. There are always, in any market climate, we're still going to have our people who, for one reason or another, need to buy or sell now. We're not going to stop working for them right now.
Well, my partner, Ryan Gertis, he has a saying, and I love this, and it's stuck with me, is cash or money never disappears. So there are people that that have money and have the capabilities. So give them hope and give them some opportunities and explain what those opportunities are. And again, that just goes back to also understanding the market, understanding the ebbs and flows of what is happening right now. All right, number 4 is go virtual with your client base. There is no excuse right now, in my mind, to not be communicating with your sphere of influence, with the people in your database, with people that you have met at your open houses. And in a minute, I'm going to talk about the message to them. One of the things that we are doing on our team, we're encouraging our team to avoid the phone calls and go virtual as much as possible. People, again, are bored out of their minds. And not only do they want to talk to people, but they want to see people. And obviously, you can't show up to their house. So utilize FaceTime. Our team, I'd never touched Zoom in my life until Sunday night. And we learned for agents, for anyone, there's a free version of Zoom. With the free version, you can do unlimited up to 40-minute Zoom calls with your clients. And that way we're having FaceTime. We just did our first team meeting via Zoom. And I can tell you, Mindy, it was so nice just to see everybody's face again, because the previous week we were just all on the phone.
Right. I agree 100%. I have been I've had several meetings this week over Zoom calls, Zoom video chats, and my one-on-one coaching clients. I've been seeing all their beautiful faces this week. And I told my daughter last night, I said, man, I've been doing these FaceTime conversations with these people that I normally talk to over the phone, and I've had more fun this week than I've had in a long time. And so if that's happening for you and I, Mike, to have that much fun and get that much satisfaction out of these video conversations this week, then it's going to be the same way with everybody, right?
Yeah, and as far as the messaging goes, I understand that a lot of people don't feel comfortable just calling people up and selling them something. And I'm not doing that. I'm not calling people up and selling anything. I've had to change my message. And my message has been simply as this. I am a real estate, professional, and I understand that a lot of people have questions and are concerned about the real estate market and how the coronavirus is impacting the real estate market. What questions do you have, or what questions can I answer about the real estate market? And if you just ask that question, and shut up
Mhm.
and let them talk. Again, it goes back to being that source of information. You're not going to walk out. You may not walk out with a listing or a buy. And that's not really the intent.
Right.
The intent is long term to be their real estate professional when they are ready. But be that source of information. Find out what their questions are, because it's your responsibility to have the answers to those questions. But that is something that's weighing on everybody's mind, Mindy.
And if you don't know the answer, don't let the possibility that you may not have every answer to every question prevent you from doing this, right, Mike? Because if someone asks you a question and you don't know the answer, all you have to do is simply say, that's a really important question. I'm gonna call, my broker right now, and I'm gonna find that out, and I'm gonna give you a call right back. First of all, it gives you a reason to contact them a second time. And second of all, it gives you an opportunity to learn more about things that you need to learn more about. So don't let the not knowing everything get in the way of you making these calls.
Yeah, I would love it. I mean, if I was invested in the stock market, I would appreciate a call from my wealth manager and saying, "Hey, what questions do you have?"
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I would appreciate a call from, and I'm not saying we didn't get it. My wife handles these calls, but we would love to appreciate a call from our school principal.
Yes.
What questions do you have about what our plans were? And what our plans are if kids still continue to get locked out for the rest of the semester. I mean, there's a lot of stressors in people's lives, and I would appreciate those calls. And I don't think people if you're not selling anything, you're not calling them saying, "Hey, do you know the value of your home?" You want to CMA as much as just being that person to answer any questions. I think people will really, really appreciate it, and it's one of the number one things that you can do right now.
It really is. And I'm going to tell you what, I did get a call yesterday from one of my daughter's teachers. And I'm a perfect example of, first of all, I was a little pleasantly surprised that was who was calling me when I picked up the phone. And also a perfect example of someone who I probably normally wouldn't entertain a phone call from her teacher for 10 minutes like I did. But I did have questions, actually, and they did catch me at a time where I happened to be sitting there in front of my computer, and it actually worked out great. So imagine if us, as real estate agents and real estate professionals, if we pay people that courtesy. I'm getting, and I'm going to talk about this more positive feedback about these calls than I have actually in my experience doing this.
All right, and I even got a call the other day from my windshield replacement guy, because he calls all the time, and he's still calling. And we just said, I don't really need a windshield replacement, but one, I appreciated the call. I appreciated the fact this guy's still hustling, and we had a conversation. So people are more inclined to chat with you on the phone. All right, so we've given you a little bit of strategies.
Can I say one more before we move on? Sorry, Mike. And because I wrote this down, and I've been having my clients do this week. Take inventory of your personal space. So look at your home office. When you're set up on your Zoom call, look at yourself. Do you, is the area around you, does it look professional? Is there anything you could do starting this week to clean it up a little bit, or maybe put, a nice picture behind your eye? I got caught in this exact same one this week with these last minute phone calls. I had to kind of look at my space and go, oh, I'm not set up for this. So if you need to do that, that's an action item that you can put into place this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we did get, we've been getting a couple responses, and I love what Gail said is she's having a lot of success with this. No one's turning away a heart call. I love that, all right, so giving you a few strategies and kind of some messaging ideas. So we're gonna talk about another way to get this message across. And I'm going to share a little, for those of you that follow me on Facebook, going to give you a little bit of insight to my strategies. Everything I post, and we're going to talk about utilizing video and social media. Everything I post, and I know most people think I'm a jackass, right? Some of the crazy things that I post on my Facebook page and so forth. Everything is very, very strategic to the timing that the post goes out, to the type of content that goes out. But we should be, now this is a great time to be utilizing video and social media to get this message out. And so what I have done is as I've created a video series, and my third one is going to come out today. And actually, let me backtrack. What I've personally done is I've identified my major lead sources. And so I'm creating a video series for each lead source. And every lead source has got its own their own YouTube playlist on my YouTube page. But one of the video series is just for my regular Facebook page. You wouldn't see some of the other videos that I'm producing because you're not part of that circle of mine. But on my regular Facebook page, it's basically, COVID. It's called COVID-19 and the real estate market. And I'm going to launch my third video today. And you'll see every video that I'm producing right now is all about helpful information. The first one is we're going to see, I think, one of the biggest impacts we're going to see is a freeze on home equity lines of credit or HELOCs. And so my recommendation in my video series, if you're concerned about cash and you have a HELOC and you're worried really about this thing going really, really bad and you need to have some cash, you might want to think about maximizing your HELOC because if they start capping it, you're not going to have access to it. Second thing in helping my people prepare for those opportunities is this is a fantastic time if you've got if you got equity in your home to do some sort of cash out refinance. And then the third video that I recorded yesterday and I just produced and it's going to go out today is there is a lot of confusion right now as far as mortgage companies. What happens when you start missing your mortgage payment? What are they doing to assist people? And my advice to them is, yeah, a lot of mortgage companies are going to be working with you, but you can't assume it. Never, ever, ever miss a payment until not only have you talked to your mortgage company, but whatever arrangements you have with them, you get it in writing, because the moment that you do miss a payment, it will negatively impact your credit report. So I'm just now utilizing video and social media to be that resource and that beacon of hope for people.
I think so too. And you're almost never going to hear me tell you to take to social media. It's not part of my training or my coaching, but
Unless you got a 65-pound hairy dog.
Well, that's personal though. This is a time though, because once again, circling back, now is a time that you want to take these opportunities to be visible. So if you're typically, you don't typically love video of yourself or love posting pictures of yourself on your social media, it's time to get a little uncomfortable the next couple weeks and put yourself out there, because people do want to see you. And we're getting really, really good feedback from that. Our people are stuck in their houses and they're homeschooling their kids. And sometimes their real peek out to the real world today is going to be in their social media. And will they see you? And are you going to be delivering a positive message there?
All right. To answer another question, do I have one YouTube with more than one channel or more than one YouTube with a single channel? So what I have done, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat. I have a main YouTube page that I've created. I probably got 10 different playlists for the different campaigns that I've done. So I created a playlist for COVID-19, and so what I do is when I upload the video, then I have a link, and then I post the link, and that way I can track views and I can track comments through YouTube. Our team has its own YouTube page, so some of our other channels I utilize our team YouTube page. But the other thing I want to say about video and social media, and this is very, very important: be interesting and be engaging. I want as many people to watch my real estate videos as I can get. But if the only thing that I am posting is just real estate, I'm not going to get the engagement that I want. I'm not going to get the interest that I want. So I'm having a lot of fun with different things. I went for a family hike the other day, and we saw these things in the desert. I had no flipping idea what it was. Turns out it's for frisbee golf. Okay. So what I mean by engaging, you want to ask questions and invite people to comment. I literally posted on my Facebook page, anyone know what this is? I don't think I've ever had as many comments on a post than that.
Isn't it
Uh,
bizarre? The things that, yeah,
yeah,
the things that,
it's amazing. And then I attempted to make an egg McMuffin this morning. Okay, about Canadian
they look
bacon.
delicious, by the way.
Okay, and so, but my post was, it didn't taste right. What am I missing? And it's allowing people to engage. So when people are, because right now people are looking for humor, people
Yes.
are looking for fun stuff,
Mhm.
and the more people that have engaged with that stuff, then the more likely that they're going to view some of my real estate stuff.
Exactly.
I notice a lot of people are doing virtual open houses right now,
Yes.
or doing property tours and doing it
Hmm.
on Facebook. Fantastic idea, but you've got to ensure that you are engaging in it and asking for comments, asking for feedback. If you find something crazy in the house, I a couple of weeks ago I found a urinal in the garage of a house. So I posted I posted that. So just have some fun and be engaging with people.
Exactly, because it's just like Mike said, if everything that you're posting pertains to real estate, you're going to be appealing to a fraction of your total audience. So during a time like sort of we're in right now, you want to try to be appealing to your broad audience. So think about that when you start to post some of this stuff.
Yeah, and then as again, you're using social media, you're using videos to just again be the resource of information. When this thing does blow over, then there will be time to really dig deep into real estate. But you're going to have an audience now, and let people like you.
Exactly. You may be exposing yourself to people who normally really don't give a crap about your real estate posts, that maybe in the future, because they started engaging with you here in this next couple of weeks, maybe they'll be more likely to be
Yeah.
exposed to and see your stuff start to cross their feed, whereas they didn't before.
And this may be hypocritical because I've done it in the past, but I'm just going to say it anyways because I've watched a lot of your videos.
Mhm.
Don't put the phone below your face. I do not want to see up your nostrils. Okay. So be very, very
I have
careful.
one.
Also, go on Amazon or reach out to our own Keith Flynn, Keith at westusa.com. I'm sure he'll appreciate this.
Mhm.
Uh, get some equipment. I had to go out and get a special tripod. I also got some special lighting for our office to as we make our team videos. It's just a good opportunity
Good
to
idea.
just get some video equipment to make them a little bit more professional. Find
Right.
some apps that you can put your name and your email address on the videos or whatever the case is. Obviously, if you've got a MacBook Pro, I've been using iMovie like crazy, but step it up, assess your equipment. I think it's a great investment. And if you need some tips or ideas, go ahead and email Keith at westusa.com. You're welcome, buddy.
Hey, one more. How about this? Stop taking videos of yourself while you're driving. Sorry, I one of my biggest pet peeves.
Well, I
You
do it, so.
Oh my gosh. I First of all, it's against the law now in Arizona.
No,
Second of
it's
all,
hands free.
how are you doing a video of yourself hands
Oh, I got
free?
a special thing that goes on my dashboard that I put my phone in. It's a little phone holder.
Okay. Okay, either way, stop taking videos of yourself while you're driving. First of all, you don't look that good. Second of all, you should just focus on one thing at a time, especially when you're operating a motor vehicle.
Well,
Rant over.
well, the way I figure I can multitask and there's less people on the road. So, all right.
Do as Mindy says, not as Mike does.
All right. Number 6, as you're talking with people and you are
Mm.
working your sphere of influence, you need to mentally and prepare yourself for some heartbreaking stories and some sad stories. And when you're making these calls just with the approach that you're being a resource for them as opposed to selling them, I think it'll change things. So sometimes in the past, like, oh, well, this person can't get qualified. This person's got this going on, so I'm going to move on to the next one.
Mhm.
Um, not only can this go a long ways, but people do need to be heard. People want to share what's going on. You're going to hear from people that have lost their jobs. Unfortunately, you might start to hearing people in the next month or so that might have lost a loved one through
Sure.
this. I mean, there's a lot of bad things happening in people's lives, and so as we are encouraging you to make the connections and reach out to people. We just feel like you just need to be mentally and emotionally prepared for this. And anytime I'm having a conversation with someone, I'm always making that call as a problem solver. I'm trying to identify what their need is and what their problem is, so that I can figure out how to help them solve that problem. And then most of the time, it's real estate related. But I'm cognizant of different job opportunities out there. We mentioned earlier that Amazon's hiring, some grocery stores are hiring. Maybe do some research on different types of jobs that are hiring, and look for anything that you can do to help these people, and so forth.
I agree. And here's the catch. Um, because, like you said, I've got clients in lots of different parts of the country, and some of them, I mean, one of them's in Vegas right now, where it is
Mhm.
shut down, and his immediate friends and family, they're out of work. He's almost in tears on the phone call or the video call, and I get off the phone, and I'm depressed. And so that's when you came up with this point, Mike, I immediately thought of myself and the way I feel after 2 or 3 calls for my people, where they're going through these heartbreaking circumstances, and I just kind of sit there, and I, after 3 or 4 phone calls, and I feel drained, right? And I don't want you to feel like you have to have an answer or a solution to everyone's problem. My quickest advice I can give you, if you're not naturally good at stuff like this, which a lot of us aren't, is to match them, mirror and match them. So for instance, if I call you and I go, "Hey, Mike, it's your realtor, Mindy. I just wanted to check in on it." And he goes, "Oh, Mindy, my wife just got laid off. We're having a tough time." I'm not going to go, "Hey, it's going to be
Yeah,
okay. There's
yeah,
a lot of opportunity."
yeah.
You really want to just bring your tone down, slow your speech pattern down, and maybe just ask them another question. Is there a way I can help support you right now? Is there something, and that's sort of like my best advice for dealing with it. My second piece of advice is going to circle all the way back to the very beginning, is what are you doing to work on your own mindset, to where something like that, a couple 2 or 3 calls with our database, isn't going to ruin the rest of our day, to where we don't
Mm.
want to continue, or we don't want to, keep doing what we're doing. We don't go hide under a rock. So more important now than ever to daily, more than once a day, be working on your own mind frame, whether it's reading a book, listening to something motivational, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I would also say, and it's hard, because this is not why we're making the calls. I'm going to hear some bad stories, but I sometimes can't keep the entrepreneur down.
Sure.
That's within me. But if you work with people and you listen to people, and the other thing I learned about marriage, my wife's not ever, a lot of times, is not necessarily looking for me to fix the problem.
Right.
She's just looking for me to just
Good job,
listen.
Mike.
It's hard for me, because I'm like, if you're not looking for me to fix the problem, why are we talking? But
You and every other man, Mike.
yeah. um, but this is the type of stuff long term that comes back
I
to
do
to
agree.
benefit you as well, when the time is right for them, or they're talking with friends and family that are looking to do something in real estate, and so forth.
And how about this? So how people equate, I'm not sure if you know this, people equate being listened to with being loved. The same part of our brain gets triggered when we feel listened to as when we feel loved. So watch this. How powerful would it be if I called you and you told me, your wife was laid off, you're stressed out, this or that? What if I checked in with you later this week?
Yeah.
And I just sent you a quick text, said, "Hey, just want you to know I'm still thinking about you."
What'd you say? I wasn't listening. All right,
I don't
Mindy
feel
is
loved.
kicking me now. That's not social distancing, but you're right, and that's what I mean. And I mean, empathy and caring for people during this time, will help them right now and will help you down the road. And then, hey, down the road, you may go through some tough times,
Yeah.
and those people might be there for you.
Very true.
All right, number 7. I know Minnie's ramped up for this, because this is her area of expertise.
It is.
But um, our lives are. I am not a work from home guy. That's why I rent an office space here
And
at
you're
West
here
USA,
every day, bright and early.
because I just can't work from home. So it is completely changed my life to really figuring out. And my wife and I have actually had meetings about this. We got it because she works too. What is our routine, and how are we managing our calendars?
First of all,
And this goes, hold on, Mindy. And this goes back to point number one. This really is about mindset right now.
It really is. I've seen so many comments or jokes, which is, anyone knows me knows half my social media is just jokes and motivational stuff, but so many things about what day is it, and I don't know what time of day it is anymore, and things like that. And it's because you've allowed yourself to get off of some kind of a routine. And so it's interesting. I posted on my Facebook yesterday a picture of what my morning routine looks like. And I was so surprised to find how many texts and messages I got and things like that of, well, what is a morning routine? And oh my gosh, I was going over people's head just in that alone. And so I want to sort of, and I'm sorry if you're sort of ahead of this, but I do want to back up for someone who's not quite there yet. Every successful person in every industry across the board has a really strong, consistent morning routine. So you can ask Warren Buffett, you can ask Bill Gates, you can ask any one of these people. They will tell you they do the exact same things every morning. And so what do I mean by that? Be setting your alarm still for early enough to start a morning routine before you have to go, get your cup of coffee and sit at your desk. Some ideas of things that can be part of your morning routine. A journal. You can buy something like I use. It's called the 5-minute journal. It's really quick and easy, but it starts your day off with intention. You can read. I know some people who meditate every morning, but the thing is you have to keep doing that even now working from home. And I would argue that it's probably even a little more important right now while you're working from home. And if you don't have a morning routine established, now is a perfect time for you to start.
Yeah. And for me, I just can't I have to stick to my morning routine of the alarm, of taking the shower and getting dressed. If I just jump out of bed and stay, in whatever I sleep in, I'll leave that imagery to yourself. I would have a hard time getting going on my day because I haven't psychologically, set myself for success and putting my mind into my normal routine. But now with a lot of us working from home, we have to now incorporate a different type of routine and and putting together our calendar.
Mhm.
We have to still time block for business. It can't be, oh, I'll just make calls for people as I think of them. You have to, prospecting is more important than ever right now, but you're communicating with them as far as how you can help them and answer their questions. But you still have to have scheduled time to do your videos. You have to have scheduled time to do your social media. You have to have scheduled time to start calling people. You have to have, scheduled time to work your CRM. You may not have as much time as you used to, just because our kids and everybody's at home right now. But it's important, and you can just go to Microsoft Word and download a blank weekly calendar and just time block times where you're going to exercise, which I'm not going to speak any more on that because I haven't exercised since in about 2 weeks. But and then for us, it's we're time blocking the time that we're taking our kids on our daily hike so that they know what time we're doing this and dinner and things like that.
If you don't set up a plan, your whole day is going to go to crap every single day. So if you don't plan, what you actually do is you plan to fail. So assign everything a spot in your day. So tonight, if after listening to this, if you want to post a video on your social media this weekend, and then you want to post a couple of other things this week, assign it a day and a time in your calendar and write it down. The likelihood that it will actually get done will skyrocket just by you doing that small thing. Okay, so assign them the place you're going to do it in your calendar. Don't go, well, gee, it's 10 a.m. and I'm bored. I guess I'm going to go take the kids for a hike. Well, see, that's reacting, right? And we want to go, it's really important for me to spend time with my kids today. I'm going to take them for a walk at 3:00, right? Put it in your calendar and plan for it. If you have trouble with stuff like this, you have to have an accountability partner. So for instance, I'm going to call Nick Wee to camp out. He's having trouble getting out of bed on time. I think he should text me every morning when he pours his first cup of coffee. And it's good. Social pressure, you guys, is so real. It is so real. And so if you have an accountability partner or two and say, hey, we all want to be out of bed and have journaled by 6 a.m. Text each other a picture, build that in. And same with your family. I was talking to one of my clients this morning. She's having a hard time with her daughter being home. Mom this, mom that all day long. There's nothing wrong or neglectful if they're of old enough age to put a sign outside of your office door or your bedroom or wherever you're working from that says, Mom is busy till 11:30.
Go talk to dad.
Go talk to dad. Go call grandma. Unless like someone's bleeding, don't knock on this door. That's okay. I texted my husband a couple days ago and I said, I'm going to be on calls till X time, just so you know. Henceforth, not being bothered during that time. So that, if you really, really care, and you're saying you care about this and you really do care, you will implement some accountability into it and you will set boundaries with those around you.
And I also understand, going back to your calendar, that during these times, things do pop up. And you may have scheduled time to prospect and something does pop up with your kids. Well, treat it like you do with a client. If a client's got a scheduled appointment with you to go see homes and something happens, what do? We reschedule it. So if something interferes with your scheduled time to prospect or do something like that, take a look at your calendar and reschedule it. It is not an excuse to not get that done. Exactly. And I'm telling you, the agents that are working this and doing this are still being successful, and they're the ones. Come summertime, they're going to be really, really busy. All right, number 8. I talk about this all the time. We talk about the importance of your CRM. If you are not using a CRM or you do not have a good understanding of how your CRM works, work on it now. Schedule time for this. Watch the tutorial videos. Learn how to use your CRM. If you are using your CRM, this is a great time to clean it up. We just learned how to, I've never used my CRM for texting. But we have over 3,000 people in our database, and we wanted to launch a texting campaign with a link to our video for a certain segment of our leads. Well, I had to learn about, just how to do the text messaging. I learned I didn't have the right account for it, so I had to up my my premium on that so that I can do it. I learned really quickly the things that it could do and it couldn't do, and then I learned, because these leads have been a compilation over the last 3 or 4 years, I didn't have them all tagged properly. I didn't have my lead source properly so that I can pull up what segments I want to text at what time. And literally on Sunday, I spent hours and I went through every single one of these leads to make sure that they were categorized and they were tagged properly. And now we're ready to go. Now every week we can do our big texting campaign.
This is a perfect time. Our CRMs are something that typically tends to be the first thing we start to neglect when we get busy. So if that is you, and you need to go back, I think it was really awesome what you did, Mike. Buckle down for a while, make sure everyone 100% are cleaned up, tagged right, categorized right, set up with reminders. It's a great time to do that. If you're missing information, if you start to go through your CRM and you're pulling people up, then maybe you're missing information in there, their home closing date, their birthday. These are excuses for us to call them, right? If you're missing that, just go to their Facebook. Half of them, their birthdays are right there. You can go and update it and then set a reminder. Call Mike, it's his birthday. And it's we don't ever get calls on our birthday anymore, actual phone calls. So, you can start to set yourself up with some of those little things that normally you don't assign a place in your day. Today, now's a great time for that.
All right. Number 9 is the topic of lead generation. Everything that we talked about and everything that we're doing right now is a form of lead generation. It's just sometimes when we hear the word lead generation, we think that we're right now actively trying to put people into homes or
Yes.
actively get listings. That's not necessarily the case. If you come across somebody looking to do something in real estate right now, obviously
Mhm.
you want to do it, but you need to, you need to have the right message. You need to be conscious of what's going on with, our country, our world at that, that too. And of course, just here at home, but everything's a lead gen. This will blow over. And there are agents, again, that are going to be very, very busy this summer. So when you're having conversations, you need to be looking, everything is a lead gen. It's just, you just might not be generating business per se right now. You might be, but the most of it is you're building business for the future.
Yes.
And you need to have that mindset. And that's what we're doing right now. And don't be apologetic about it. It's just a matter of, again, it's a matter of how you do it.
If we're looking for people who need our help and they may not need it right now, I'm having my clients cast a little bit of a wider net. Normally, we might define a lead as someone looking to buy or sell in 90 days or less. Right now, I'm saying anyone that expresses interest in the relatively near future, will consider them a lead. And this is what I want to reiterate again. In the best of real estate markets, in the worst of real estate markets, there are always going to be the have tos, people who have to buy and have to sell. Marriages, divorces, births, deaths, job transfers, life circumstances that cause them to be a motivated individual. Those people need our help right now. And so, sure, we're not maybe pounding the pavement and doing some of these things that we typically might be doing, but these people, there are still people out there that are going to be making moves. And I have clients, like I said, all over the country that are getting contracts signed as of today. Some of them are in Washington and they're not allowed to see someone face to face and they're getting contracts signed.
Yeah.
Business is being done. Don't fool yourself and use it as an excuse to not work. Okay, business is being done every single day here. And it's your responsibility to find it. And I want to end my little rant by saying that what you are or aren't doing this week, last week, next week, what you are or are not doing is going to show up in about 6 to 8 weeks. You're either going to have a client that you're working with in 6 weeks, or you're going to have nobody in 6 weeks. And it's a result of what you are doing right now.
And back to the CRM. The CRM is going to be a great lead gen source for
Sure.
you, because you're going to be going through it, depending on how many people you got in there. But you're going to be going through it, and now you got a list of people to start reaching out to. And again, if you haven't talked to somebody in 2 or 3 years, it's a great conversation. Hey, I just was thinking about you. And there's a lot of questions about the real estate market. Do you have any questions that I can answer for you? And we did get a text coming in, as far as tutorial videos for the CRMs. I can't speak for all the CRMs, but every CRM should have some sort of tutorial videos on their
Google it.
website. Most of them have their own Facebook group. Or just reach out to them and find out how I can learn more. Some of them have webinars and so forth. So yeah, and the last thing I'll say about lead gen, Mindy, is one of the things that we talk about with our team, and this might help people, with a different approach. I am not in the business of selling homes. I am in the business of building relationships with people, and my best leads come from me building relationships with
Yeah.
people. So so instead of maybe thinking of it, oh, these guys are asking us to lead gen, find ways and where are the sources where you are going to be able to build relationships with people.
100%.
All right, and then the last one is stay in touch with your industry partners. Ryan and I, we are in constant communication with our lenders, because they are the best source of
Yes.
information with what's going on with loan programs, what's going on with rates. And they don't necessarily feel comfortable with this, but we force them to give us worst case scenarios. And so we're doing a weekly, or we did one, we're going to do another one, but we're doing Zoom calls with them and just saying, okay, where do we see this going? What are the worst case scenarios? What are the things that we should be focusing on? We got a little Tatum. We're so close. Okay, you can. Anyways, and but stay in touch with your home inspectors. Stay in touch with your title reps.
Yes.
Stay in touch with your home warranty reps. One, just find out how they're doing.
Yes.
But it's your responsibility to know what adjustments that they are making to be able to help us continue to do business.
100%. And I wanted to ask you, Mike, how often do you think we should be touching base with our industry partners?
Well, I would say I would be touching base with them at least once a week. And it could just be a simple, just checking in, seeing how you're doing. A lot of them are sending us, emails with things that they're doing to make changes. So I'll call them and say, okay, explain this to me, explain that to me. I'm in communication with our title people. What happens if the county recorder's office shuts down? What happens if notaries can't go out? And then also inform them. So I would say at least once a week, but our lenders, I'm communicating with them a little more often than that.
Okay, I agree. And they may be generating marketing pieces that we can be sharing, once again, positioning ourselves to be an all around real estate resource to our sphere. So, being in touch with them, I really, really like that at this point.
And also is the other thing when you're communicating with them, and this is really what we're doing with our lenders more than anyone else, but I'm kicking myself in the butt for not doing this as well. But when you are connecting with them, find out what other agents are doing to be successful during these
Good
times,
idea.
because they have relationships with the top producing agents and so forth. And I think it's a mind shift change, because I think many of us in real estate, we view our industry partners as slaves, and we sometimes treat them that way. I never have. They are partners to me. They help me. They help me close deals. They help me grow my business. And if there's anything that I can do to help them, I want to be there to help them.
They are your team members. That's what your industry partners really are. And they are a wealth of knowledge for you. And back to what you just said, they're working with some top producers in challenging marketplaces. Top producers don't go out of the business. Top producers stay top producers, okay? Because the things they're doing are working. It's the low producers and the non-producers that place themselves out of the business. So on that note, watch the top producers in your office. Watch the top team leaders. What are they doing? Success leaves clues. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel and do something really crazy. Emulate the people around you that are doing the business you want to do, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, and if you got relationships with some of them, feel free just to call them and so forth. Everybody right now has got the mindset to want to help other people. And if you call some top producers, or you call some agents that you respect, that are doing really, really well right now, if you call them or reach out to them and say, hey, I would love 5 minutes of your time. What are you doing? Whatever. I think a lot of them would be more inclined to help. Well, our emails are on the screen. So if anyone out there, and we had a lot of great messages coming in. So appreciate everybody's appreciation of what we're doing here. But that is how you reach us if you want any additional information or have any questions or so forth. Mindy, thank you very much. Yeah. And Nick has just walked in. So Nick, apparently you're not getting out of bed what you normally did. So we're going to help hold you accountable. Anyway, so we appreciate everybody joining us. And all right, we'll see everybody later.